Hey guys, and welcome back to another tutorial today. So we're going to be making this halter neck um, cold shoulder sleeve with a princess seam. Okay, it also has a turtleneck band. If that's what you want to see, then subscribe to this channel, keep watching this video to the end, hit the bell notification icon so you get to know when I post new videos, new content like this. Okay, so if you want to learn how to make dresses, then keep watching to the end. So you need your basic bodies, your basic bodies, your upper basic bodies, okay? And you should have your darts, waist dart and side bust dart, okay? And also I went ahead to make sure that my neckline is the basic neckline because it's going to be having a turtleneck. My neckline is basic neckline because it's going to be having a turtleneck. So I went ahead to mark 1 inch from my bust apart measurement on the two sides between my under bust line, and I imputed my bust circumference. Okay, if you haven't seen a video where I imputed bust circumference, then you should check on my channel. You see a lot of videos where I gave clear explanation on how to impute your bust circumference. This bust circumference is going to help this dress fit perfectly at the under bust, just as you can see on the mannequin. So now you want to label your sleeve back and front, and you want to take the very front part of the sleeve and attach it, that's the center sleeve, and make sure it's on in line with the very shoulder of your front bodies, just as you've seen me doing in this video now. You want to take it and put it closely. Make sure it's very close. The center sleeve is very close to the very tip of your shoulder, and you want to tape it down like so. Just as you're seeing me doing, that's exactly what you're going to do, okay? And you want to tape it down like so. So having done that now, I'll go ahead to determine how deep I want the cold shoulder to be. And I used 4 inches. You can use more, but as a modest fashion designer, I do not like to leave cleavages. Yes, and also want my dress to look very stylish and beautiful without showing any cleavage. So I'm using 4. And for my neckline, I went ahead to mark 1.5 inch. Sorry, I didn't know this is very high, like you guys cannot see it. I used okay, yes. I used 1.5 inches for my neckline. As you can see now, 1.5 inches for my neckline. You can use 1 inch. That's if you want a halter neckline that is very close to your neck, you can use 1 inch. But I used 1.5 inch, 1.5 inches. So it's optional to you, whichever one you want to use. I used 1.5 inches. So I'm going to be joining that 1.5 inches now to this very particular place like this. I don't want it to be very straight, so I'm curving it out. You can also make a deep curve. Like I said, I do not want anything that is going to be showing my cleavage, so I'm very careful on whatever it is that I'm doing. So I marked this very particular contour guideline, okay? This contour guideline helps that very opening not to gap. It helps it to fit firmly on your body and it's not going to gap, okay? So exactly what I'm doing now is what you're going to be doing. This contour guideline is close to the shoulder, it's close to the shoulder line, okay? And the very dart that I took in is 0.4 inches, okay? 0.4 inches. I hope that is very much explanatory. So having done that, I'm going to have to remove the sleeve right away. I'm going to have to take off the sleeve, and having taken off the sleeve, I'll cut off that very part that we will not be needing. This is actually the part that is going to be forming our cold shoulder. So I'm cutting it off for the front, okay? I'm cutting it off like so. And we're going to be having something like this, as you can see. So having done that, I'll go ahead to impute, because I want this to have a fitted bodies, I'm going to be using a princess seam line for my front bodies. So I'm going ahead to impute my princess seam line, okay? Like I said, a princess seam line, an armhole princess seam line must not start from the center of your armhole. It can start anywhere around the armhole. So I'm starting mine from this very particular portion of the armhole, particular part of the armhole, and I'm joining it to my bust point, okay? And that is what I'm doing now. I'm going to have to open up my side bust dart. Okay. I also have a detailed video on how to draft a princess seam. Okay. I'm opening my side bust dart and I'm also going ahead to open the princess seam line and I'm closing it up at my side bust dart. I'm closing my side bust dart and opening it dart at that very particular princess seam. So I'm going ahead to kind of smoothen this to give it that breast shape. Okay, we don't want it pointed. As you can see on the mannequin, it's fitted very nicely and smooth. So we don't want that pointed edge. We do not want any kind of pointed edge. So that's what we're doing right now. And I'm going to have to smoothen it out the more because I feel it's kind of much pointed. So I'm going to have to smoothen it out the more. Do not worry, it's not going to cause any shortage on your fabric or whatever while you're sewing. No. So I've smoothened it out and I'm going ahead to cut it out just so it has that natural breast shape and look. And I think this is okay. Yes, it's looking like okay, but this is okay. Yeah. So I'm going ahead to cut off the other darts like so. And for this very dart, I'm going ahead now to close it up. You have to close this dart for that very firm fit. As you can see, it's not gapping anywhere. Even on the mannequin, it is not gapping. So you want to make sure that you close this dart, okay? Just so nothing gaps. And then I'll have to tape it down. And also, I'll go ahead to tape this very particular area down. And I haven't done that, I'll go ahead to cut away the halter neck, to cut the halter neck, like the part we're not needing. I'm going to have to remove it now. So we'll have our halter neck proper. So I'm going to have to cut it like so. So we'll have our halter neck proper, okay? So this is what we're having. I'm removing these darts entirely. And this is what we're having. Do not worry, when you cut this on your fabric, it's going to look nice. So this is what we're having for the front. These are all the pieces for the front. So heading straight to the back, you want to have your basic back upper bodies, and same thing we did for the sleeve. You're going to be joining the sleeve of your back bodies to the shoulder area, and you tape it down like so. And we are starting right on the same 4 inches mark on the center of the sleeve, because the front and the back sleeve is supposed to be having the same, like they are supposed to align. So we're doing same thing. And also for the shoulder where the halter neck starts, I'm using my front to through the back of it, and since it's in line, I'm gonna have to finish up this artistic drawing like so. And then I also want my back to be fitted, so I marked 3 inches for my shoulder. Like I want to contour my back line. I do not just want to sew up the darts, and I'm not using a princess seam here. I also have a video of where I did princess seam for the back. So I marked my bust apart measurement and I'm joining it to that of the previous one that I had with my dart. And from that very part, I'm joining this to the dart leg. I hope this is explanatory. I'm joining this to the dart leg like so. And I'm extending my bust apart measurement all the way to the neckline, like in a straight line, okay? I'm extending it all the way to the neckline. Since this is a turtleneck, it's not a deep back neck, I'm extending it all the way to the neckline. My back neckline is, the depth of my back neckline is ½ inch, okay, ½ an inch. And the width for my shoulder, I removed 2.5 inches. I hope you understand. For my shoulder, I removed 2.5 inches. So I'm cutting this like so now, and I'm taking off the dart, which is for the back. And also I'm going ahead to cut out the halter neck like so. I'm going ahead to cut out the halter neck like so. So this is it now. This is what it looks like. This is what they look like. These are all the patterns, and of course the sleeve. So we'll go ahead to cut this on our fabric and we'll head straight to the sewing, okay? So you come along with me while we sew this whole piece, join it together to form this beautiful dress that you can see on the mannequin. So heading straight to the sewing, I'm first going to be joining my princess seam together. Now you're wondering, what about those lace appliques on the front bodies? I actually did that after sewing the princess seam together. So it covers up the princess seam line, okay? I actually did that after sewing the princess seam together, so it covers up the princess seam line. So I'm going ahead to sew like so, joining the princess seam together. And I haven't joined the same thing I'll be doing to the other side of it. I'll go ahead to also join the other side of it, okay? And I'm going to have to join the other side of it. I'm going to have to join both sides, including the back. So I'll be shaping the side of it to the measure to my measurement. I'll be shaping both sides, front and back to my measurement. I already marked out my measurements, so I'll go ahead to shaping them to suit my measurements, okay? So I've done that for both sides, front and back, and I'll go ahead to join the shoulders together. You want to be sure that you're careful with your notches and everything you need to mark to remember which is which, so that you don't sew something that is not supposed to be sewn, and where it's supposed to be left open, you don't sew it up. So you want to make sure you mark notches and you make sure that your pattern is in line with what you're sewing. So I'm going to have to join my shoulders together right now. So I haven't joined my shoulders together. This is what we're having right now. I haven't joined my shoulders together. This is what we're having. So I'm going ahead to join my sleeve together. So you can see I marked a notch for where the sleeve should start, okay? And remember, I marked a notch on my back sleeve, center sleeve, and then I'll be taking that of the back and I'll be joining it to that very point where it's supposed to start, all the way to my armhole. Armhole all the way to the side seam, yeah, which is around the armhole area. I hope you understand. And so having done that, I'll go ahead to sew up that of the front area also, following the notch that I marked. You want to place it. Please do not leave so much allowance at the sleeve so that you don't get confused or you don't sew and it's kind of is so loose. I'll advise you just leave half an inch allowance on your fabric, so when you're sewing you just sew up straight, okay? So having done that, now I'll go ahead to close up my sleeve like the way you do your normal sleeve sewing. I'll go ahead to close up my sleeve. Like I said, I marked my center sleeve and I've marked the measurements for my sleeve, and I'm going to sew all the way down. So yeah, this is what we're having and we're done. So this is what it looks like. I hope you enjoyed this video. Bye.